Good morning. This is Joanne Toledo with RE/MAX Masters Millennium. I'm meeting this morning with Rick Geraci. Rick is with Integrity First Insurance. I've invited Rick to come here today and talk to us about kind of a newer and unique type of insurance that you can look into. I have had several transactions that would they actually fall apart. Sometimes they're very costly, but what they involve is the sewer line, whether it's broken, issues with the sewer line. I have had deals, I've had 4 of them in the past year that fell apart. I heard about this new, what I think is a great product that's being offered. So I wanted to invite Rick here, ask him a few questions and talk to you about that. I think it's a valuable thing that everyone should look into. So anyway, Rick Geraci, Integrity First Insurance. We'll just start off and ask Rick a few questions. Question number 1, Rick, so you do have the sewer line endorsement?
Yes, most carriers will have it nowadays. It is not offered by all carriers, but most of them are starting to incorporate it into their insurance policies. It is optional.
Yeah, I have Allstate and they are working on it and they don't yet have it.
Okay.
So check with Allstate, but you're an insurance broker.
Correct. We work with over 28 rated companies right now that we can shop all the insurance products around with.
Okay, but you do have this so it's an endorsement to your homeowner's policy.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So
how long has this been offered?
I would say most carriers, it's really relatively new over the past 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
It started off with a few carriers, but more of them are starting to add the endorsements on there.
Yeah, I just heard about it about a month ago.
Yeah,
and it was in a class, a continuing ed class, and that particular issue that was brought up in the class was a home in Lakewood sided to Wadsworth, and they actually had to stop traffic, dig up Wadsworth, and that one ended up costing over $24,000. And they had this, and I thought, oh my gosh, nobody has access, generally when you're selling your home, to that kind of cash, and it could really blow your deal. But anyway, that's where I heard about it. So
that should be the first question. You should go back to your current carrier and see if you do have a service line endorsement on there.
I think it's great. So, so what exactly does this cover?
Service line endorsement covers more than what you just think of the sewer pipes. It's not only, it's anything that's underground that runs from the street or the public utilities up to your home. It's things like sewer lines, gas lines, electrical lines.
Gas lines.
Gas lines are included in there as well. Internet data transfer, data lines. Yeah, I got actually a couple of different things. Waste disposal, compressed air, water, steam lines. Internet access telecom services, wide area networks, and data transmission. Basically any of those lines that are running underground from the city in the street up to your home, which your regular insurance policy does not cover.
So I'm going to get off into the weeds maybe, but if I'm digging in my garden and I cut my data line,
would it be covered?
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
Go get your utilities marked. I'm not saying don't do that, but that's what the first thing that comes to my mind was. So,
yes.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, we went over what's included in it. How much can this service line rider cost on an annual basis?
Annual basis, you could be looking anywhere from $20 to $100 a year. Break it down monthly, could be anywhere from $2 to $25 a month, depending on what kind of coverage you get up to it. Most carriers will go up to a $10,000 limit with it. Some of them do. There are a couple that will go $12,000 or even $15,000 protection.
That's what I'm good. I'm always the worst case kind of girl.
I mean, for $35 a year,
right?
Might as well max out.
That's what I think. That's what I'm always thinking like that. So that just gets added onto my homeowner's policy.
Correct.
Okay. We got the monthly cost. You covered the deductible. How much is it usually?
$500 deductible.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if you got a all perils deductible of $1,000 or $1,500, usually the service line endorsement will be $500.
That's pretty cheap. Yeah. So I had one that fell apart in December, and the break was in his front yard, and it wasn't a big deal, and that was $4,000 fix. I've had some in Denver where the break was in the street, and that was $10,000 to $12,000 fix. So, what do you know what the average repair cost is on something like that? Is there something that you're?
There is an average, and it's very broad, but an average of $3,000 to $4,000 per repair. But when you start getting into digging up the street, and it covers basically everything from the public utilities in the street all the way up to your home. So if you get something that's breaking in the street, it is going to cost more because you got to dig that up.
So let me ask you, my home is not very old, and so I'm, wishy-washy on it. For sure, I have clients with older homes in Denver, in Littleton, older areas, which, the big tree in the front yard to me screams you need something like that. But so let's say we close on a house built in the 50s in Denver, and you go with one of these riders on your policy. Is there a period of time when they're going to ask you to wait? Are they going to ask for a sewer scope showing it's clear? Is there any criteria to get this rider added?
There isn't.
No waiting period?
No waiting period. Okay. You can add it. One thing to keep in mind, though, you brought up a good point. It's not just going to cover tree limbs growing into your pipes.
Right.
It could cover collapse of pipes. Erosion, corrosion, leaks, even on some of the newer homes, if you have some of these lines freeze,
True.
That's all
water
covered.
lines, frozen water. Oh,
yep,
good thought.
that's all covered. Your example before of digging in your yard, yes, only dig into a line. Yes, that's all covered.
Wow. Okay, well that's great. As I said, I've had at least four in the past 12 months that it was iffy if we were going to close. Because of the sewer line, because of that there was a problem, an underlying problem, underlying being the key word here. So anyway, thanks Rick.
Absolutely.
And again, Rick is Rick Geraci with Integrity First Insurance Company. So you want to give your contact info?
Absolutely. If you'd like to have me take a look at your policy or take a look at your quote, even just to use me as a resource for questions, best way to reach me is my cell phone, 303-638-3708, or my email address is just rick@integrityfirst.net.
Perfect. Thanks,
Okay.
Rick.
Thank you, Joanne.
You ready?